homecoming for Wendell Willkie, its most distinguished son, finds Elmwood, Indiana, the mecca for a day of enthusiastic Republicans and disgruntled Democrats. Its normal population swelled 20 times over. And Callaway Park, on the outskirts of Elmwood, becomes the site of the largest political rally in American history. To avoid a jam, Willkie's special train is halted outside the town, and the waiting throngs get their first glimpse of the candidate and Mrs. Willkie in their car. Shaking hands with old friends along the way, with 200,000 people anxious to wish him well, Willkie comes back home to Indiana. Back to the grassroots where he started life, where 250,000 persons gather to do him honor, comes Wendell Willkie. Now the highlights of his address as he formally accepts nomination of the Republican Party for President of the United States.
In former days, America was described as a country in which any young man might become president. It is still that kind of a country. The thousands of my fellow townsmen standing here about know how distant seemed that opportunity to me 30 years ago. I want to assure a similar opportunity to every boy and girl of today who is willing to stand on his own feet and to work and to fight. In the foreign policy of the United States, as in its domestic policy, I would do everything to defend American democracy, and I would refrain from doing anything that injured it. But Mr. Roosevelt has not done this. He has dabbled in inflammatory statements and manufactured panics. The President's attacks on foreign powers have been useless and dangerous. He has courted a war for which this country is hopelessly unprepared, and which it emphatically does not want. We must face a brutal but a terrible fact. Our way of life is in competition with Hitler's way of life. I promise, by returning to those American principles that overcame German autocracy once before, both in business and in war, to outdistance Hitler in any contest he chooses in 1940 or after. And I promise you that when we beat him, we shall beat him on our own terms and in the American way. I propose that during the next 2.5 months, the President and I appear on public platforms together in various parts of the country. I make this proposal respectfully to a man upon whose shoulders rests the burdens of the nation, but I make it in dead earnest. I accept the nomination of the Republican Party for President of the United States.